When we think of Hollywood royalty, the same legendary names come to mind: Barrymore, Fonda, Houston. But what if some of today's biggest stars were secretly connected to the golden age of Hollywood, and you never even knew it? Stick around for jaw-dropping connections most people never put together. 20. Abby Elliot, granddaughter of Bob Elliot. You might know Abby Elliot from Saturday Night Live or her standout role in The Bear, but what many fans don't realize is that she's the third generation of a comedy dynasty. Her grandfather, Bob Elliot, was one half of the legendary duo Bob and Ray, a comedy team that helped shape American humor in the 1940s and 50s. Bob appeared on Happy Days, Newhart, and even Saturday Night Live, the very show Abby later joined. Her father, Chris Elliot, is also a comedic actor known for roles in Schitt's Creek and There's Something About Mary. Despite growing up in the spotlight, Abby carved out her own path, impressing critics with her sharp timing and versatile performances. It's a rare three-generation run in show business, and she's just getting started. 19. Stephen R. McQueen, grandson of Steve McQueen. Best known for playing Jeremy Gilbert on The Vampire Diaries, Stephen R. McQueen comes from serious Hollywood royalty. He's the grandson of Steve McQueen, the king of cool himself. In the 1960s and 70s, Steve was one of the highest-paid and most iconic movie stars in the world, known for The Great Escape, Bullet, and The Magnificent Seven. With his piercing blue eyes and anti-hero charm, Steve helped redefine masculinity on screen. Stephen, meanwhile, has quietly built his own acting career, staying mostly out of his grandfather's shadow. While they share a striking resemblance, Stephen rarely talks about his famous lineage, instead focusing on television roles and indie films. Still, fans of classic Hollywood are always shocked when they learn his last name isn't just a coincidence, it's a legacy. 18. Una Chaplan, granddaughter of Charlie Chaplan. Una Chaplan may be best known for her role as Talisa Stark in Game of Thrones, but her lineage is even more legendary than the show she starred in. She's the granddaughter of none other than Charlie Chaplan, the silent film icon who created The Tramp and revolutionized cinema in the early 20th century. Her mother, Geraldine Chaplan, is also a respected actress who worked with directors like Robert Altman and Carlos Saura. Una carries the Chaplan legacy into the modern age with her dramatic range, classical training, and quiet intensity on screen. Though she rarely brings up her famous last name, her performances seem to echo the emotional depth her grandfather conveyed without saying a word. From black and white comedies to gritty prestige dramas, the Chaplan legacy continues, just in a new form. 17. Riley Keough, granddaughter of Elvis Presley. Riley Keough has quietly become one of Hollywood's most intriguing actresses, starring in Mad Max, Fury Road, Zola and Daisy Jones, and The Six. But behind the indie film acclaim lies a surname with immense weight. She's the granddaughter of Elvis Presley. Her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, was Elvis's only child, making Riley a direct descendant of the king of rock and roll. Elvis wasn't just a music icon, he also starred in over 30 films, including Jailhouse Rock and Viva Las Vegas. Riley's grandfather defined an era, but she's built her career far from the glitz of Graceland, opting for complex characters in offbeat roles. Still, her striking features and soulful presence feel like echoes of the Presley charm, just reimagined for a new generation. 16. Jared Harris, son of Richard Harris. Jared Harris has delivered unforgettable performances in Chernobyl, Mad Men, and The Crown, often stealing scenes with quiet intensity. But many don't realize his father was the legendary Richard Harris, an Oscar-nominated Irish actor best known as the original Dumbledore in the first two Harry Potter films. Richard also starred in This Sporting Life, Camelot, and Gladiator, earning acclaim for his commanding presence and rich, gravelly voice. Jared took a different path, diving into character roles rather than leading man status, but the talent clearly runs in the family. His ability to disappear into roles mirrors the emotional depth his father once brought to Shakespearean stages. Though they had a complicated relationship, Jared has honored his father's legacy, not through imitation, but through reinvention. 15. Shaun Aston, son of Patty Duke and John Aston. Shaun Aston is beloved for his roles as Samwise Gamgee in The Lord of the Rings, Mikey in The Goonies, and Rudy in Rudy. But his Hollywood roots go much deeper than fans might expect. His mother, Patty Duke, was a celebrated actress who won an Oscar at just 16 for The Miracle Worker and starred in the iconic Patty Duke Show. Shaun's adoptive father, John Aston, became a cult favorite as Gomez Addams in the Addams Family TV series. Growing up in a household filled with acting legends, Shaun inherited a mix of charm and grit that's evident in every performance. Despite his famous parents, he's forged his own legacy, often portraying underdogs and heroes that resonate with audiences across generations. 14. Ethan Peck, grandson of Gregory Peck. Ethan Peck is best known today for stepping into the iconic role of Spock in Star Trek Discovery and Strange New Worlds. But behind the sharp jawline and steady gaze is a last name that carries serious weight. He's the grandson of Gregory Peck. Gregory was one of the most revered actors of the 20th century, winning an Academy Award for portraying Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird and starring in classics like Roman Holiday and Spellbound. Ethan has inherited more than just his grandfather's looks. He exudes a similar quiet strength on screen. Though Gregory embodied old-school dignity and justice, Ethan brings a modern edge to his roles while honoring the Peck legacy with subtle elegance. 13. Natasha Richardson, daughter of Vanessa Redgrave and Tony Richardson. Natasha Richardson brought warmth and poise to roles like Elizabeth James in The Parent Trap, charming a whole generation of moviegoers, but her real-life roots were pure cinematic royalty. Her mother, Vanessa Redgrave, is a revered actress with an Oscar, multiple Emmys, and a Tony to her name, starring in films like Atonement, Howard's End, and Julia. Natasha's father, Tony Richardson, was a celebrated director who won 2 Academy Awards for Tom Jones. Despite the towering legacy of her parents, Natasha carved out her own space in film and theater, known for her grace, talent, and magnetic presence. Her tragic passing in 2009 stunned the world, but her legacy lives on through the enduring performances she left behind. 12. Chris Pine, grandson of Anne Gwynn. Chris Pine is known for playing bold, charismatic heroes in films like Star Trek, Wonder Woman, and The Princess Diaries 2. But few realize he hails from Hollywood royalty. His grandmother, Anne Gwynn, was one of the original scream queens of the 1940s, starring in classic horror films like House of Frankenstein and Black Friday. She was a trailblazer in genre cinema, often cast for her beauty and strong screen presence during the golden era of Universal monsters. Chris's father, Robert Pine, also had a long acting career, notably in the TV series Chips. With talent on both sides of the family, Chris has inherited not just star power, but a rich legacy of Hollywood history that spans generations. 11. Kate Burton, daughter of Richard Burton and Sybil Christopher. Kate Burton has quietly built a powerhouse TV career, earning recognition for roles like Ellis Gray in Grey's Anatomy and Vice President Sally Langston in Scandal. But acting is in her blood. Her father was none other than Richard Burton, the legendary Welsh actor nominated for 7 Academy Awards. He starred in classics like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Beckett, and The Robe, and was famously married twice to Elizabeth Taylor. Kate's mother, Sybil Christopher, was also an actress and later founded the influential New York nightclub Arthur, a hotspot for stars in the 1960s. While Kate didn't ride her father's fame into the spotlight, she built her reputation with quiet excellence, commanding the screen in her own right with a mix of intelligence and gravitas. 10. Mariska Hargitay, daughter of Jane Mansfield and Mickey Hargitay. Mariska Hargitay has become a household name through her long-running role as Olivia Benson on Law & Order SVU. But her roots trace back to 2 towering figures of classic Hollywood. Her mother was Jane Mansfield, the blonde bombshell of the 1950s and 60s, known for films like The Girl Can't Help It and Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter? Mansfield was also a Playboy playmate and a symbol of that era's glamour and scandal. Mariska's father, Mickey Hargitay, was a former Mr. Universe-turned-actor who often starred alongside Mansfield. Tragically, Jane Mansfield died in a car crash when Mariska was just 3, an event that shaped her deeply. Despite her star lineage, Mariska carved her own legacy, one marked by strength, compassion, and resilience. 9. Miguel Ferrer, son of Rosemary Clooney and Jose Ferrer. Miguel Ferrer brought gritty authority to roles in Twin Peaks, RoboCop, Crossing Jordan, and NCIS Los Angeles. But his parents were even more iconic. His mother, Rosemary Clooney, was a celebrated singer and actress, remembered for her role in White Christmas and her smooth, timeless voice. His father, Jose Ferrer, was a groundbreaking actor and the first Hispanic American to win an Academy Award, earning the honor for his portrayal in Cyrano de Bergerac. Jose also starred in Moulin Rouge and Joan of Arc, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance on stage and screen. Miguel inherited that gravitas, becoming a go-to character actor known for intensity and sharp delivery. And yes, he was also the cousin of George Clooney, proving talent ran deep in the family. 8. Jason Ritter, son of John Ritter, grandson of Tex Ritter. Jason Ritter has quietly built a steady career in TV and film, appearing in Parenthood, Raising Dion, and Freddy vs. Jason. But behind the scenes, he's the third generation in a Hollywood legacy. His father, John Ritter, was the lovable lead in Three's Company, known for his slapstick humor and warm charm. And his grandfather, Tex Ritter, was a country music legend and Western film star who became one of the earliest singing cowboys in cinema. Jason has taken a different path, often choosing indie projects or emotionally driven roles, showing range beyond his family's comedic and country Western roots. His subtle performances carry the heart of his lineage, but with a modern, grounded edge that's entirely his own. 7. Angelica Houston, daughter of John Huston, granddaughter of Walter Huston. Angelica Houston is widely recognized for her powerful presence in films like Prizzi's Honor, The Grifters, The Addams Family, and The Witches, but her Hollywood roots run incredibly deep. Her father, John Huston, was a legendary director and screenwriter who gave the world masterpieces like The Maltese Falcon, The African Queen, and The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, the latter earning him 2 Oscars in a single night. Even further back, her grandfather, Walter Huston, was an Academy Award-winning actor in his own right. Angelica broke out of the family shadow by winning her own Oscar for Prizzi's Honor, directed by her father, making them one of the few parent-child Oscar-winning duos in history. Her roles often carry a dark edge and emotional depth, a clear reflection of both her unique talent and her family's storytelling legacy. 6. Tony Goldwin, grandson of Samuel Goldwin, son of Samuel Goldwin Jr. You may recognize Tony Goldwin from Scandal, Ghost, or The Last Samurai, but his lineage traces back to the very roots of Hollywood itself. His grandfather, Samuel Goldwin, was one of the founding fathers of the iconic Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer (MGM) studio, shaping the golden age of cinema. Samuel Goldwin Jr., Tony's father, continued the legacy as a prominent producer, known for films like Mystic Pizza and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Tony forged his own acting path, often playing morally complex characters in both television and film. While his name carries historical weight, Goldwyn has made a point of building his career through talent and persistence, not just his family name. Still, with a last name like Goldwyn, the link to old Hollywood royalty is impossible to ignore. 5. Jaime Lee Curtis, daughter of Janet Leigh and Tony Curtis. Jaime Lee Curtis may be a horror icon in her own right, but many people don't realize she comes from 2 of Hollywood's most recognizable faces. Her mother, Janet Leigh, starred in Alfred Hitchcock's legendary thriller Psycho, delivering one of the most iconic performances in film history. Her father, Tony Curtis, was a 1950s matinee idol known for Some Like It Hot, Spartacus, and Sweet Smell of Success. Despite the fame surrounding her family, Jaime Lee carved out her own lane, becoming known as the Scream Queen of the late 70s and 80s thanks to her breakout role in Halloween. Over time, she expanded into comedy and drama, winning an Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once. From legacy to longevity, she's proof that some talent really does run in the bloodline. 4. Ben Stiller, son of Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira. Ben Stiller is one of Hollywood's most recognizable comedic actors, but many forget he was born into a family of comedy legends. His father, Jerry Stiller, was beloved for his roles in Seinfeld and The King of Queens, while his mother, Ann Mira, was a respected actress and part of the successful comedy duo Stiller and Miara. Though Ben had access to showbiz early on, he built a massive career on his own terms, starring in blockbusters like Zoolander, Night at the Museum, and Meet the Parents. He's also earned critical acclaim behind the camera as a director and producer, most recently for the hit series Severance. With roots in classic television and a career that spans generations, Ben Stiller is a true Nepo baby success story. 3. Melanie Diaz, niece of Elizabeth Pena. While Melanie Diaz has built a solid reputation in indie films and television with roles in Fruitvale Station, Charmed, and Raising Victor Vargas, many people don't realize she's related to one of Hollywood's most respected Latina actresses, Elizabeth Pena. Pena, known for films like La Bamba, Rush Hour, and Lone Star, broke barriers for Latina actresses in the 1980s and 90s. Though their connection has remained low-key, Diaz has carried the family torch in her own way, choosing thoughtful, socially conscious projects that elevate underrepresented voices. Her performances are often praised for their emotional depth and authenticity. Melanie may not have grown up with red carpet privilege, but her quiet legacy and connection to a pioneer like Pena make her one of the more surprising entries on this list. 2. Rashida Jones, daughter of Quincy Jones and Peggy Lipton. Rashida Jones is best known for her roles in Parks and Recreation, The Office, and Angie Tribeca, but her Hollywood pedigree is surprisingly deep. Her father is legendary music producer Quincy Jones, who worked with icons like Michael Jackson and Frank Sinatra. Her mother, Peggy Lipton, was a Golden Globe-winning actress best known for The Mod Squad and Twin Peaks. Despite being born into immense fame and wealth, Rashida has worked hard to carve her own path. First as an actress, then as a screenwriter and producer. She even co-wrote the screenplay for Toy Story 4 and has directed acclaimed documentaries. With roots in both classic television and the golden age of music, Rashida Jones proves that being born into greatness doesn't stop you from creating your own. 1. Jack Quaid, son of Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid. Jack Quaid may have made a name for himself with standout roles in The Boys and Oppenheimer, but his family tree is pure Hollywood. His father, Dennis Quaid, was a leading man throughout the 80s and 90s, known for The Right Stuff, The Parent Trap, and Frequency. His mother, Meg Ryan, was America's sweetheart in the golden age of romantic comedies, starring in classics like When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle. Despite being raised by two A-list stars, Jack didn't coast into stardom. He started with small roles and took the long road to credibility, earning praise for his versatility and self-deprecating charm. With a fresh-faced energy and an acting style all his own, Jack Quaid represents a new generation of Nepo babies who are not just living up to their legacies, but redefining them. Hollywood has always been a family business, but sometimes the connections run deeper than we realize. From the grandkids of Golden Age icons to the children of overlooked legends, these Nepo babies didn't just inherit a famous last name. They inherited pressure, expectation, and the challenge of living up to towering legacies. Some leaned into it, others carved out entirely different paths. But one thing's clear: talent may run in the blood, but success still has to be earned. Which name on this list surprised you the most? And do you think legacy gives an unfair advantage or just a head start? Drop a comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more forgotten Hollywood tales.